What is up, everybody? My name is Marco and you're watching my vlog. So before anything else, let me greet you happy New Year, happy 2021, and Merry Christmas. And today we are going to talk about a very important topic, which is how to quarantine, or what to do when I'm in isolation or when I need to quarantine. So let's get into details. First of all, I'm not an expert. I don't work for the health department. I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to share to you the things that I did to quarantine. Now for me, if you watched my first vlog, I actually shared that I tested positive for COVID-19. So for me, when I tested positive for COVID-19, I had to quarantine. And obviously, I didn't know what to do. I've never had to quarantine before. Whenever I had flu from years ago, I didn't really have to quarantine or isolate myself. But this time around, I live with my mother and my sister, and I really have to isolate myself to protect my family from catching it. So when I felt that I had symptoms, I went to go ahead and take the test, and then after that I went to go quarantine or isolate myself. When I say quarantine or isolate, I decided to stay in my room for 14 days. I know some people quarantine and they still walk around the house, they go in the kitchen and the living room. But like I said, I live with my mom and my sister. So for me, I decided to isolate myself in my bedroom for 14 days. Can you imagine? In my bedroom for 14 days. Nowhere else to go. Just my bed. My bed. My bedroom. Okay. So the things that you have to do when you test positive for COVID is, first, for me, at least in my city, which is Las Vegas, in my state, Nevada, they actually call you to ask information about the people that you were with the week prior to getting your symptoms. So you actually have to backtrack to the week prior to you actually getting the symptoms and you actually getting your test results. So when I received the phone call, I obviously had to be honest, and I told the health district, the people that I was with, I gave them the names and their contact information. And obviously, the next thing that I had to do was to actually let those people know that I tested positive for COVID, and just to give them a heads up if they feel like they need to isolate, or they feel like they need to quarantine, or they feel like they need to take the test, then they can go ahead and take the test as well. So that's the next thing that I did. And after that, I went ahead and just stayed in my room. So basically, the things that I'm going to talk about is not like really in a professional standpoint. It's literally just a suggestion or an advice on how to actually keep your sanity while you're in isolation in your bedroom, or whether you're in a hotel room for however amount of time that you are in there. To me, luckily, I was in my bedroom. I have my computer with me, my phone, and I have a lot of books. So the first thing that my family did was actually, I told my sister that I'm actually going to use her bathroom instead of using my actual bathroom. So when you test positive for COVID, you actually have to, unfortunately, use a separate bathroom. So that's the first thing that we did. I isolated, I used a separate bathroom. My sister cannot use her bathroom because I'm using her bathroom, and she was using my bathroom. Just because her bathroom is closer to my bedroom. It's literally right next to my bedroom. So that was the best thing to do. After that, thanks Mom for actually helping me get through my isolation, because she was actually cooking and actually bringing my food. Our kitchen is downstairs, and my mom is young. So she actually have to like come downstairs, get food for me, bring it up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sometimes she would make me some snacks too. So if you have anybody in your household, or if you have a friend, if you have a roommate, they're going to be a huge help if you are isolating, because they're probably going to do stuff for you. Pick up some groceries, definitely food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or snacks. Yeah, so we actually decided for me to not use our plates, spoon, and fork. So we decided for me to use just disposable things. So that's another thing. If you tested positive for COVID and you're isolating, you're quarantining, you have to use disposable things to eat, to drink, because you don't want to spread the virus in your household. So that's another thing that I did. I know some people walked around the house and freely have contact with the people that lives in the same household. In that case, you actually still have to maintain your 6 feet distancing, and you have to wear your mask all the time. Another thing that we did is we actually bought a lot of disinfectant. We bought a lot of products to help us disinfect our house and the things that we use. So that's another thing. I became overly paranoid in cleaning. I was cleaning like a crazy person. Like, we do have a lot of wipes, spray, fogger to disinfect the entire house and everything. And literally my skin was going bad because I was sanitizing, washing my hands like a crazy person. So that's another thing. Buy a lot of products to disinfect every single thing in your house. When you're isolating and you're in quarantine, when you have those products, then you have to clean. You have to clean your bedroom. You have to clean where you're staying. You have to clean your environment. Think of things to entertain yourself while you're in your bedroom. So for me, luckily, like I said earlier, I had my computer, I had my phone, and I had books. One thing that helped me, if you have your phone, you can be on your social media, but to me, I try not to be on social media all the time because I just feel bad that people are outside and I'm stuck in my room for 14 days. With my computer, I was able to access my Netflix, my Hulu, Disney Plus, or HBO. If you have HBO, I don't have HBO, but I was able to access those. I was able to access my emails. I was still able to check my emails, pay some bills, do some errands, do some research, and just try to make the best out of it. And then I guess the very last tip that I would suggest for you when you're in quarantine or in isolation is just try to think positive. With me, I was fortunate enough that my symptoms were very mild, and my symptoms lasted for 3 to 4 days only, and I was fine. I was very fortunate to have very mild symptoms. So I literally just focused on bettering myself. Like for me, I read the books that I want to read, I journaled, I was watching the things that are going to be helpful for me instead of watching the things that will actually make me feel jealous or ashamed or make me feel bad that I'm in isolation, that I'm missing out. Another thing that you can actually do is drink a lot of vitamins like zinc, vitamin D, and vitamin C. So while you're recovering and while you're in quarantine and isolation, that's also the time for you to actually rest. So you're in quarantine, you're in isolation, rest, sleep, eat, and take a lot of vitamins. So yeah, make the best out of it. You're not able to be with people in person, but if you have your phone, if you have your internet connection, if you have Wi-Fi, the power of Zoom, FaceTime, and social media, you can still actually call them and text them, and that actually helped me a lot. Even though I'm an extrovert person, I have to be around people, I have to be in events, I have to go somewhere, I'm gonna go crazy. But you know what? Thankfully, I was able to do it. I was able to isolate myself and just discipline myself to stay positive and actually keep my quarantine and isolation in my bedroom for 14 days. A very enjoyable experience for me. And I'm trying to be sensitive to those people who tested positive with severe symptoms, and I know it's a different scenario, but to me, those are the things that I did when I was isolating, and I hope this helps you think of ways and things that you need to do when you need to quarantine or isolate. So thanks for watching. Please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon.